comment.
Is it all of our microphones that are off?
You're on now.
Okay. We don't have to start over.
Okay. First one is the Union Road Culvert Replacement Project will start Wednesday, September 13th. Project located on Union Road, about a 10th of a mile north of Scow Road. The Union Road in that area will be closed during traffic through construction. Intersections from the intersection of Green Randolph and Union and Wallsburg and Union Road. Project's allotted 40 working days and hope to be open around November 8th. We have a small structure replacement project on Homestead Road scheduled to begin on Monday, September 25th. That project's located about 115 feet west of Falcon Road on Highway 24. And Homestead will be closed during construction from Crooked Creek to Falcon Road. Expected to be open to traffic by Friday, September 20th. So just about a week worth. Just that week be closed. And of course, all of those are weather permitting, depending on weather. And Friday morning, we started our overlay projects. Shilling was out. They started up on LKNW. And they should hopefully continue through the rest of the roads in the next couple of weeks of Heidi Drive, Lakeside Drive, Mound Ridge, North Marlatt, up there by our shops. Gardiner Road, County Line Road, West 68th and Blue Ridge Road, and Sharp. So those are the roads that will be open during construction by pilot car and flaggers. So be patient. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take a helicopter.
Any other public comments? Oh, Ms. Clancy.
Just one, yeah, it's always a danger. Raise my hand. We'd like to ask the board to please add an executive session to my administrative time at 10:40.
We already have one at 9:40.
I know, let's have another one.
Okay, whatever. Well, two executive sessions.
See, that's not
I'll
so
make a
bad.
motion to add an executive session to Clancy Holman's administrative services time at 10:40.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to add an executive session to Clancy Holman's time at 10:40. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You don't get another one at 11:40 though. Not happening.
Thank you. And thank you for your wild enthusiasm.
Okay, if there are no further public comments, we'll go to commissioner comments. Commissioner McGinley.
All right. I missed a few. Well, didn't have one way back here. Back in September 1st, that Friday, we started the Master Gardener classes with Greg Eystone. The first class was just a review of the program and then a botany class. After the class, I met with Vivian. We had a good discussion about the local paper and its inability to get facts correct, and also discussed what kind of response we thought was needed. Like I said, that was last week or that week. It was the fact that they had both the new ambulance station and the new EMS headquarters, both were listed as renovations instead of new buildings. And then this last Friday, they had published the tax numbers, and they had total budget number wrong, mill levy wrong. They had a mill levy at 42.1 instead of 39.9 in their calculations. And I checked this morning, and they've not corrected anything yet. So,
Did we send them some?
oh yeah, I sent them both times. I sent them a note. Like I said, that was on Friday. I sent them a note on this one, and it's still there. Then and then going back, still another week. Saturday, I attended a North County Republican meeting at University Park. There was a lot of discussion on University Park lagoons. They had questions that I didn't have answers for, but I told them I'd work on it, get back with them with some answers. And Saturday evening, I did get to attend the K-State football game. Even in the shade, it was warm, but I was watching the game from the top level of the press box with my
Oh,
grandkids.
goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter-in-law started working for the athletic. She worked at K-State, switched to the athletic department. Got to pass.
Oh, good.
It's a neat view from up there on the top.
Yeah.
You're looking down.
Got the opportunity to do that potentially at
It's
some
pretty
point
neat.
in time this season too. That'd be cool.
Then this week, or then that, I guess last week, Tuesday, I met with Evan McMillan to go over the latest on the University Park Lagoon project. They were supposed to do soil samples, and I think they did do them last Friday, is what I understand. And he's still talking to an adjacent landowner about purchasing a little more land and working on some funding that looks like might be coming through. Wednesday, I met with Rich Vargo to clarify some election questions that also come up there in University Park, and then just discuss some general things going on in the county. Let's see, Wednesday was Flint Hills at a bus board meeting. K-State cut back on their funding this year. But the Flint Hills is still trying to get it refunded. They're still funding. There's a route from the parking lot out of the stadium in through the campus. But they cut the funding off that allowed free access to buses all the way through town for the students. And but also they discussed the city's looking at setting up a separate from the Adibus a trolley to run from downtown to Aggieville.
Really?
Yeah.
Get it some kind of trolley. They're still in discussions exactly how it'll work. We'll try to get something that connected two properties having running through there.
So maybe you build it downtown.
Yeah, just going through there in the afternoons and evenings.
We had one a long time
There
ago.
was one.
Yeah, back in the late '80s.
And then Thursday, I sent an email to University Park, answering their questions on the lagoon and the election questions they had. Friday was another master gardener. There's plant diseases and soils, and then we got to tour some of the labs in Throckmorton Hall. It's one building I had never even been in.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
And this Saturday, I got the game from home, but they'll enjoy the results. And then finally noting today's date when making this, I went made me think back what was going on 22 years ago, what I was doing, what was going on. And the news just kept getting stranger as the day went on. It was a strange day. It shook things up. Especially I was at Leavenworth at the time. Willie, the security at Fort Leavenworth went red alert. You couldn't get on or off.
Or you could fly anywhere.
Yeah.
It's what, yeah. That's all I've got.
Okay, Commissioner Ford.
Yes. A lot going on, but not over 2 weeks, so I'll try to make it fast. Post our commission meeting on Thursday. I did attend part of that mental health summit hosted by Pawnee Mental Health and some other local community partners. Missed most of the morning session, obviously. Couldn't be at two places at once, and I don't think the world could handle that if that was even a possibility. There were several speakers early just talking about some things. They had a panel discussion. I was able to get in during, they had 5 different groups and breakout sessions, talking and discussing and dialoguing some things. And then each group came back and kind of gave a summary of all that. Had a pretty good challenges of conversation of all the challenges and needs associated with mental health here in the region. Had a lot of community partners and certainly appreciated everyone who was there at the summit and had some input, quality input. We'll have to scoop all that together and kind of figure out where to go from here. So, and then there's the other one coming, and then there's a state one coming, and can probably combine all that together and have a good quality vision moving forward. Also Thursday, we had our pre-law board meeting at the Law Enforcement Center. And I just realized, Cindy, I just messed up on that. That needs to put a pre in front of the law board there. That might confuse some people. We had that at the Law Enforcement Center. That's to discuss and finalize the agenda for the September 18th meeting that I'll mention once again is at Keats. I'm interested to see how it's going to work out too, but I think it's going to be a rather short meeting. There's not a lot going on, so that's okay. There will be some other items down the road that are being discussed. We need to kind of research and put together for some future meetings. So won't be calm forever. Thursday evening, to listen to the Manhattan High game on the radio. Beat up Topeka High pretty good. Sorry, Craig. To run their record to 2-0 on the season. The most important thing to remember is that's made a new school record for 15 games in a row. You go back to 13-0 last year. Still ranked number 1 in Class 6A, and I think they got Hayes on the docket at home Friday night. And they played this one on Thursday. I don't know why.
Because 3 high schools use the same field.
Hummer Park.
Yeah.
Okay.
Highland Park.
I seem to remember. I seem to remember that's been the case before. So okay.
So you have to juggle them.
Cut. Okay, Friday afternoon, I met with Jana Williams from the Flint Hills Regional Council to discuss, this is a long one, the Office of Local Defense Community Cooperation Grant. I don't know how to make a cool acronym out of that, and I'm not even going to try. So we discussed what that would actually mean for Riley County, as well as updating me on somewhat of the local entities' interests are with this particular grant. She left the book for each one of you. I've got one too. I've got some other paperwork that kind of lays out some of the groundwork on that and some of the other stuff. If you're interested, I can make some copies. Couple of things to note on that. Don't have to be members of the Flint Hills Regional Council to be part of that. It's dollars that are already allocated there. You just have to go through the normal process, which they plan on doing. A lot of the local smaller cities, I think are wanting to use bits and pieces of it. I think Riley may use that for some housing. Market analysis studies. Ogden may want to use some of that if they can for infrastructural needs. I asked on the rural infrastructural side, and Jana wasn't for sure, but said that she would check on that. And she's also willing to come in and give a full presentation if we would choose to do so. And I said I would mention it. So if so, I can email her and have her get with Cindy and find time. Just let me know. Let's see. Also on Friday afternoon, I didn't attend in person, but I did watch via Facebook Live the launching of the university's new strategic plan, the Next Gen K-State. President and others provided information and details on how K-State will be working to lead both the nation and I would think globally, the Next Generation Land Grant Institution as being the actual first land grant institution. So their goal is to accomplish this by 2030 and to have 30,000 people. 30,000 students.
Really? To have 30,000.
Now, keep in mind, yes, it counts all of it. Right. It counts undergrad, postgrad, online, the whole, yeah.
The one that's lined up.
Yep, the whole big picture. So it's pretty robust.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, the way they laid it out and the way they put it together, I think the vision's good. I think it's a possibility. So we'll see how it goes. We're willing to help out in any way possible to help them get to that point. So go Wildcats. Speaking of Wildcats, I attended the K-State Troy game. Probably wasn't as warm as the last Saturday, but it was a little warm in the first and second quarter there. I got a little sunburnt in a couple of spots, but we'll live with it. Turned out to be pretty nice overall. I had the chance to tailgate, catch up with some people. The game was kind of first quarter, like they put the pedal down and then kind of backed away a little bit and scored that touchdown right before halftime, and they kind of just cruised from there. Yeah. So Troy was a pretty good team. So I think that worked out well. I don't know if Rich has got the scores written over there or not, but I think I came pretty close.
Yeah, it's doing 35-17.
What was the final score?
38-14.
42-13.
I had 39-36.
Yeah, you're out. You're out.
Rich had 28-14, Clancy 26-24.
So I didn't, you both.
Yeah.
Well, when Rich gets back, I'll let him do the math on that and see until like doing it. So, okay. Yesterday, watched the start of the NFL season, watched my Jaguars win. First time that they won their opener in, I think, 5 years. Once again, that whole math thing. Also yesterday, I did attend the 9/11 Day of Remembrance down at the Manhattan City Park, hosted by the Flint Hills Volunteer Center. Heard from many different people from the community, including Lieutenant Governor David Tolan, Lieutenant General, retired now, Perry Wiggins from the Governor's Military Council, to name a few. Also wanted to give a shout out to all the volunteers who took time to put this event together, to RCPD who provided the barbecue and the food, and to all the first responders, EMTs, fire, everybody who was on site, and just everybody who serves just in general. The amazing thing about that is other than having to actually physically drill holes to put flags in, because that's how stiff the ground is right now. It's amazing to see almost 3,000 flags and just see the names of everybody on each one of those. It just really puts things in perspective of that day. We're speaking of September 11th. I'll caveat a little bit off of Commissioner McKinley's comments there. It's hard to believe it's been 22 years, and it's hard to believe that there's still 2,900 and something families that are basically missing a loved one, and won't forever have that void. I visited New York City 2003 for spring break, so it was not quite a year and a half afterwards. I mean, they had everything cleaned up, but they were really working on trying to repair all the infrastructure underneath, the subways, the utilities and all that. And it's just a big, large hole there is really what it is. But I always reminded of a mural that somebody had rolled down one of the buildings there, and it's really cool art graphic, but it's got a quote. It had a quote on there, and it's I think from a Russian poet. I put his name down in my notes, but I can't pronounce it, so I'm not going to try. But basically, it says that the human spirit is not measured by the size of the act, but by the size of the heart. And it's for some reason that mural on this day has just always stuck with me. So, in fact, that's all I've got this morning.
Okay. Rocky. Thursday afternoon, evening, I helped serve food at the community meal held at First Lutheran Church. And there were a lot of people. I guess there was an incident, like some call it police. Somebody had a little altercation. But after that, I did attend a committee meeting upstairs. I got home. I watched some of the Chiefs game.
Oh yeah, I watched that too. And it worked out so well.
No, it wasn't bad. In the last quarter, I'm going, oh, this isn't looking really good. I'm just going to get some sleep. Friday morning, I had an MRI on my lower back and came to the office to review some paperwork, return some messages. That afternoon, I attended the dedication of the Trask Family Band Hall at the KSU Memorial Stadium. It was really hot, so sitting on those old concrete benches and watching the band play, and they had some good presentations. And then attendees were allowed to go into the newly remodeled facility and look around. I had a little reception in there with cookies and tea, but really well attended. It's really a good space for the band, and they've also have space for all sorts of other like the cheerleaders and the crazy cats or whatever.
Classic cats.
Yeah, the dancers. They had some space for them to work.
And a special arena for those people that throw the batons and stuff.
No, they didn't have that. But they did have a place where they had a washer and dryer and a little shower and all sorts of facilities like that. So the tubes were hanging up all over. It was really cool. So then Saturday I went to the football game at Bill Snyder Family Stadium. It was pretty hot. I'm on the west side. It's pretty sunny until about 1:15. The sun goes behind.
It kind of got a little overcast too.
Yeah, it was.
And there was a breeze. So
A little bit better. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't as bad as some of the games are heat wise. So we did pretty well, but we could have done better. Anyway, Sunday I attended the 9/11 Day of Remembrance event at City Park, picnic hosted by RCPD. Then there was a ceremony with presentation of colors and other special remarks. It was ended by taking the colors back and playing taps, which was very emotional to hear that. And then walking around the flags, reading the names. And my goodness, there were so many young people that perished in that.
young professionals, yeah.
very young professionals.
The other thing I was taken back on was when General Wiggins was talking about, some of our now new group of veterans and those that are retiring from the military was from that original class that basically joined the military because of September 11th. And that's how long it's been now. And I just kind of made me stop and think too.
Yeah. And Wiggins also talked about, like, he was in Germany that year, and they were watching it in a game in Germany, and he was reminded by one of the German people that we awoke the sleeping giant, or they awoke the sleeping giant again, which happened in World War II. So it was kind of interesting to hear that testimony. So anyway, that was it for me. So you can go on to business.
First item is to approve the acknowledgement and acceptance of the event notice of the Geo Bond Series B 2023 that's filed with the Fed.
We just have.
University of Buckley. No.
Oh. Yeah. No. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve and acknowledge and accept the event notice for Go Bond Series B 2023, and it's been filed on behalf of Riley County.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded to accept the event notice for Geo Bond Series B on behalf of Chatty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item is a proclamation for Recovery Month for County Mental Health Services for September.
That's something we do every year. Go ahead and make a motion to approve the proclamation for recovery month for September 2023.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to sign the recovery proclamation for September 2023 on mental health services. All in favor?
Aye.
Next items, appointments to advisory boards, Randy James to the park board and Ben Hamel to solid waste management committee, and sign the resolution.
And it says on here no expiration, so they don't have term limits on these.
They do not.
Go ahead and make a motion to approve the following appointments and resolution number 091123. Resolution appointing Riley County representative to council and advisory boards.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve appointments to the Raleigh County representatives to council and advisory boards. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Riley County Employee Action Form 13 Adolph A for a function as a mechanic. Technician 2 in the Public Works Department and Paul Peck, the Public Works Operator 2 in the Public Works Department for separation.
Oh, Clancy, before I forget.
Yeah.
That's letter of support.
I just printed out something.
28, that's the deadline.
28.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And there's gonna be more coming, but she didn't elaborate on it.
Okay. Should have something Thursday.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
I meant to email that to you and I forgot.
Actually, you didn't say, well, not about the deadline. But
Oh, yeah.
You sent me the earlier.
Signing those the September 7th minutes. Any issues or corrections?
I didn't have anything. Okay, well, go ahead and then make a motion to approve the minutes as written from the September 7th meeting of the Riley County Commission.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the September 7th minutes from the Board of Raleigh County Commissioners. All in favor?
Aye.
Anything on the team under agendas?
Yeah, on the 18th, as I mentioned, the law board meeting meets, and they're planning some kind of a lunch or something before it. So I think it's supposed to be between 11:15 and 11:30. I was gonna say, you've got the last agenda item on at 10:30. It shouldn't take too very long, but I wouldn't put anything else on after it.
Yeah, because they were gonna do sandwiches about 11:15 to 11:30. Annoying.
That'll give me enough time to leave here and do the speed limit and make it on time.
But the people up there will be looking for sandwiches. But that meeting room, they're gonna go up and look at that meeting room because it's in with the kitchen, so I don't know how that's gonna work to be inside. Maybe it'll be a nice day.
They said they've done it before.
I don't remember.
Any
That's
others?
a long time.
Nothing on press.
No. Well, yeah, Ruth Shelley.
Morning, so right at 9 o'clock. So what you have here today is essentially it's a resolution setting the hearing for the University Parks water and the Lakeside Heights Sewer District. I think you might be familiar with this project. It's been ongoing for a while. And ultimately, at the last public hearing, the community members did not want to proceed because of the price increase had been so significant in that project. And so this is to essentially take the costs up to this point and assess them to the property owners and then cancel the project. The water district statutes are a little bit weird, so it requires us to do a resolution that both fixes the public hearing and fixes the assessment rates, but after the public hearing, you can change the assessment rates. It may change if you so choose. And so it's a little bit backwards from what you're used to, but you still have the same options as you always would. You just would wait until after the public hearing and make any adjustments or changes that you see fit at that time. And so that's what the resolution is for. And it would set, we have to publish for 2 weeks. And so your public hearing would be, I believe, on the 25th at 10:30 a.m. to finalize this project. Do you have any questions?
Doesn't really finalize the project, unfortunately, but yeah.
Yes, there will be the ongoing issues out there, but this particular project, it will put that to bed.
The one thing I just, we just said, this is how much it costs. Can we put it itemized so they know what they're paying for? Can
We
get
do have
itemized?
receipts. It's a fairly large set of files. I know Public Works has all the receipts for everything. It's essentially, it's all the engineering, the work that has been done is the vast majority of the costs. There's a little bit of interest on there. But we can definitely make those.
Just, I mean, it doesn't need to be 2 pages, but just some kind of basic thing saying this was engineering and whatever, or
Absolutely, we can put Sam
basic links so
spreadsheet
they
together.
understand what we're talking about.
We can do that and have it printed out for the public hearing. Absolutely do that.
And the other thing in here, and I probably can't find it again. Said we've given that assessment, it has to be paid within 30 days.
So we had to fit, so like you typically see, there's a grace period that they can pay it without accruing interest. However, in this case, they actually, even if they don't pay it, then they're not going to accrue interest so long as they pay it with their taxes next year. But by statute, we had to fix a date like that. And so it really makes no difference in this particular.
There's no penalty if they wait. That's what I thought, at least let them wait on paper their taxes.
Yeah, like I said, the statutes in this one were just a little bit odd, but so it created a little bit of a different thing than what you're used to seeing. But ultimately, it will have the same results in the end.
Okay. That's all in my head. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Yeah, I don't have anything on it.
Okay, well, go ahead and move the board approve the resolution amending resolution number 062617-37 as well as 062617-38. Determining that the enlargement of the Lakeside Heights Sewer District in Riley County, Kansas, and the enlargement of the University Park Water District in Riley County, Kansas is not feasible as proposed.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the resolution, amending resolution numbers 62617-37 and 626-1738 that determined that the enlargement of the Lakewoods Heights Sewer District and enlargement of the University Park District in Riley County, Kansas is not feasible as proposed. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Last year.
Oh,
Yeah. Interesting. You looked at- I guess when they built it, that's supposed to be the camera, press box.
mhm.
They missed the measurements since they don't like the camera angle, so the camera's on up there. And there was a guy from the other team filming the video up there, and the guys running the fireworks or so.
Yeah.
But that wasn't there. And somebody said, it looked like we tried to shoot down the
We
flyover.
did, we barely, I thought maybe they just timed that, but he came in kind of low, you
That's
know.
what people said. He was awful low.
Yeah.
And it looked like we were trying to, somebody said, I saw it. Facebook, I said, were we trying to shoot down that plane?
I think we'd have lost that battle.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly.
I mean, he literally just got over there and it was just right behind him. And I thought the same thing because I was over there in section 2 and you could look up and I mean, you could see movement in the cockpit there was that low.
It's a good thing he didn't get mad, or he or she, or they might have come back.
All of a sudden,
Make sure it didn't happen again.
Yeah, right.
Monica case stated.
Yeah, 2 of them were.
Yeah.
I guess they probably flew into Marshall Field and had a convoy or something waiting for them. I don't know where else they would have put that.
Yeah. What is it? Yeah. But one message that was on that, it was
Yeah.
somebody was right, it says, it's his brother-in-law. He's telling exactly who it was. So I don't see the work case stated, but I thought it switched to the athletic department
Oh, buddy,
2
I,
weeks ago. And now they get the whole family.
yeah.
It's just they're all home football and basketball.
Well, the buddy I was with is the younger brother of D. Scott.
Oh,
Yeah. No. Got to know
it
that.
was interesting going through the press box. You got behind the scenes of the press box.
I haven't been in there
Where-
in any of it.
Yeah, I hadn't been up in that area before. But I
I've
think
done stuff over there in Shamrock, the new Shamrock Zone, but I've been in the new offices or the West Stadium. I meant to check out Rally House when I was there and I forgot to. I guess they're open just like regular business hours there, but. Yeah, go on there, check. Let's check that out sometime. I had like 4 different tailgates I ended up stopping at. We didn't get there till like 9:15, so it was like, you know, by the time you start talking and have a breakfast burrito at 1 and spicy pork wings at another one.
that's what they figured in the press box. They kept this really hot stuff. I mean,
Hot, or
yeah,
I mean, not spicy hot.
that's why it just
I was having
it
fun.
was all
That's
really
it.
warm. But
Can't do that in the morning.
yeah,
Or in the evening.
but that was the
They had like these little one, they just had these little miniature breakfast burritos and I did the spot. Then the other one, they had some. Everybody else said they were pretty spicy. I don't know. It left a little aftertaste. They were fine for me, but ghost pepper and jalapeno spice wings.
Awfully warm food for an awful hot day. Then on the TV broadcast, this last game. You can tell they weren't there. It's one of those things there, because they missed, they'd say, oh, wait a minute, something, you know, and then.
Oh, was it the ESPN Plus? Yeah.
No, what, this one
was too, huh?
Fox Sports, FS1.
I watched the first game on ESPN Plus and yeah, they're not sending people around anymore. They're just doing it from Zoom and
So all there's
Location.
the same, it's what's on the screen, and they.
I guess
So,
apparently
oh,
there's-
something was off. Oh, there was a, you know, you tell they were kind of trying to catch up with what was going on.
there was one shot of the game where the receiver for Troy was kind of come back across the formation instead of coming behind the formation. He went
Yeah.
right down the line.
Right down, yeah.
Everybody's looking at like, what?
Well, that's what the announcers didn't do. Don't believe I've seen that, but they changed position, running down the.
Usually you go behind the quarterback and you come back in and he went right down the line of scrimmage. His own receiver kind of looked at him like was all confused by it. That's some Kansas City formation stuff here.
NC Chiefs, they need to stick them.
Or they need to draft that. They need to draft that kid from Troy. Holy cow!
Yeah,
He almost had a fourth.
and he jumped.
And that was probably that was the easiest one out of all of
I
them.
think they said he's 6'4".
Yeah.
And long arm, but he jumped.
That ball just landed there and it literally just stuck in his palm.
Hmm.
I couldn't believe it.
Was
That
the
touchdown
cheap
pass.
player.
Yeah.
That interception.
Mhm.
They had a picture of it. It was right through his hand. Somebody had a picture.
There were a lot of those yesterday. Watched around a lot of tip
Oh,
pass interceptions.
Although, watched a little bit of Dallas. And it was really raining really hard. I think that was what Saturday night. And ball was slipping and sliding all over the place.
You have to watch him see who's played.
He did
Yeah.
last night. He played very late in the fourth quarter.
Oh,
I didn't watch it that
Maybe
late. Was that
5
last night?
carries or something. Well, he came in like on a goal line scenario or something. And
they're gonna pick up throw over the
there was an offsides or something, and they took him back out. I think a lot of people were kind of disappointed. They're like, "This scores our touchdown or something." No, he was listed probably as third on the depth chart. So
Maybe King fans were all excited.
they tried to tear goalposts down again.
Yeah, something like
It's Illinois.
that. It's not conference.
And then watching Saturday's games, they were promoting, next weekend coming up, Penn State and Illinois had a big battle. I went, I saw Illinois. It's not gonna be a bad.
No.
Well, they started out last year. with that, too. Not conference. So, they have some really small players like this thing. Anyway, okay, I'm in.
Good morning, Commissioners. Amanda Webb, Planning Director, here with Planning and Development's monthly staff update. So as you all just go through a few things, and always happy to answer any questions. It's no coincidence I put the number one thing on there that we welcome Ben Campbell as our environmental health technician. So he started with us mid-August. Very happy to have him here. He's already been a great addition to the team, working hard to learn and kind of get himself up to speed and going out and doing those soil evaluations and all kinds of other stuff. So he's really positive attitude. Just keep saying he's happy to be here. So I'm happy to hear that. And he comes back every day. So so far so good. So we're really happy to have him on our team. So going well. So keep y'all posted on that. Another item I was, as you know, I was accepted in the Flint Hills Regional Leadership Program. We had our first sessions, if you will, on last Thursday and Friday. We were out at the
4-H facility down there in Geary County. So that was interesting. Have met a lot of great people, a lot of great interactions so far. It's nice to meet. I knew a couple people and I knew a couple names, but it's really nice to, I mean, there's about 20 of us, I want to say. So it's just really nice to meet more folks from, the region in just all kinds of different capacities. Again, put names to faces and meet again a couple of people that I did know. So we then had a day in Junction City on Friday where we saw all kinds of different of their facilities. We had a walking tour, we saw their PD and their fire department. And so far it's been a really interesting program, run really well. Again, lots of great interaction and great activities. So we will be, I believe, in Pot County the end of this month and also Muncie County at the end of the month. So we have a day or two roughly every month just around the region. So that's going really well. Happy to be a part of that. Keats Sewer Benefit District, I'm sure Commissioner Fogarty has kept you updated on some things. So I'll kind of touch on a couple of other things. We did not receive the small town water and sewer infrastructure assistance grant from KDHE. Keats did not receive that one, but we are happy that University Park did. So at least one project in Riley County was awarded the grant. So that's good news in that respect. We are going to have another community meeting out in Keats next Wednesday, the 20th at 7 p.m. out there in the church like we have been. Notification letters went out to about 115, 120 addresses last week, by the end of last week. Everybody within the district, of course, and then many properties kind of around that radius, if you will, outside of the district, and then a few others that we've talked to over the last several months as well. So we got that out. So hopefully we'll get some good turnout at the meeting next Wednesday. We can give an update.
Well, I wanted to tell you something. There is no longer a Methodist church.
Oh,
They
okay.
separated from the Methodist body.
Okay.
So they renamed it or named it what it was originally, the Lydia Chapel,
Okay.
LYDIA Chapel.
Okay. So if anybody calls me, I'll be able to tell them.
Yeah, if they say anything, somebody will say something.
Right, yeah. But it's same facility. It's just
It's the same facility. They just separated. It's no longer Methodist.
got it.
I
Okay.
guess it's more of a non-denominational now, I believe. So,
That's good to know because, like you said, I'm sure I'll hear from
Yeah.
somebody.
they don't have a minister here, so
Okay.
I'm struggling for that.
Thank you for that. I'll make sure to.
Okay, I just
that
thought,
when
yeah.
we do the presentation and everything. So.
Okay, anyway, go ahead.
Let's see. So those are the highlights for Keats that you probably maybe not haven't necessarily heard yet. Comp plan update. I am really happy to report 4 out of 6 subcommittees have either met. One of them is meeting this week. 3 have already met and had a lot of great conversations so far. I'm just still so excited. There's so many different people interested in being a part of this process. And again, just bringing a lot of great discussion, great ideas, great input. So excited for that. Again, we have a couple that are still working to schedule their meetings. As you know, it's always a little bit challenging to get groups together, but they're working on it. So glad for that. The survey we talked a little bit about, it feels like it's stalled a little bit. So Vivian and I are going to meet a little later this week to talk about, are there other methods we can, let people know about it. It was supposed to close this Friday. I think this Friday's the 15th, but we're not going to do that. I don't want to cut it off at this point. Really, there's no reason to cut it off at this point in the evening. And it would just be nice to see if we can get more input and get more people taking that survey. So I'll keep you posted on that. We've scheduled community workshops throughout the county in every township, every location around the county that you can think of. I think we have at least 12 scheduled starting at the end of this month through mid-November. We want to make sure to take our show on the road to every place we can out there. We want to make sure we're getting out to the people where they are rather than always having them come here. So we have those scheduled. So we're working on those presentations. And then also working with folks from the Community Engagement Institute from WSU and the International, I always have to cheat more, Institute for Civic Discourse and Democracy from Kent State for potential assistance with facilitating.
I met with Janet Williams on Friday.
Yeah.
The community cooperation grant has a specific section for defense communities and
Okay.
comprehensive planning.
Okay,
And there's resources available, and consult work
Okay.
is one of those resources too. So you might connect with her. I think I may have mentioned to have her connect with you too, maybe.
perfect,
But-
thank you.
If not, all the bases are covered there. So if that works, great.
Okay, I will follow up on it. And the next full comp plan update will be September 21st at 9:40. So we'll have a lot more information to share and give you input on community workshops we scheduled, kind of what we're doing there. And just kind of some of the conversation the subcommittees have had, and a little more information about the some things. So any questions on any of that I talked about before I move along? Okay, so short-term rental licensing, did want to mention, we received one new license application in August and we issued 2 more. It's already been long enough that we're now renewing people's licenses, so it's really handy. Our GovBuild, our permit system will send people, we'll send them an email, I believe it's 30 to 60 days in advance of the expiration of their current license, letting them know, hey, your license is set to expire on next date. Here's what you got to do to renew. And so we've already gone through the renewal. So things are going pretty well with that. We do have specific time. Darren and I will be before you folks next Monday morning, just to talk specifically on short-term rental licenses, just give you updates, answer any questions, just let you know how things have been going on our end. So. Solid Waste Management Committee, there was a few folks who were able to take a tour of Howie's Recycling Center. Krista and Greg kind of coordinated that, put that together, and if you were able to take advantage of that. We are up to, let's see, 18 committee members. We're allowed up to 30 per state statute, so we're still shopping around for folks. We do need a 3rd-class city representative. That's any city that's not Manhattan, essentially, somebody to represent one of those cities. That's the only real vacancy we have for each category, if that makes sense. The state statute says you have to have people from, city of Manhattan and private industry and recycling, different categories, and 3rd-class rep is one of those. And that's the only one that we don't have somebody for in that category.
All the other smaller cities.
Any of the
Okay.
smaller cities, it just can't be Manhattan. So David Kreller, our chair, myself, and a couple of the other committee members are kind of brainstorming potential names to reach out to, both in the small cities and at K-State, just a variety of other entities, just so we can have a good, well-rounded representation on the committee. So if you know of anybody, please feel free to send them my way and I will follow up. And we did, I believe you folks did it this morning, actually got Ben appointed to our committee, so that's good. And then you just did Mr. Platt as well, so. And then we are gearing up for our 5-year update. We'll probably start meeting on that probably this month, maybe into October, and then really start getting into it a little bit later in the fall, so we can get that updated by May 24th. I think that's about all I have. Did you have any questions? Anything you haven't covered that you want to talk about? Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
Her papers went off. Students put $100 here.
You want to stop?
Good thing I didn't roll back on it.
I'm suppose you're aware of that local consult that's coming up, right?
I'm sure they were doing second. I got the email this morning.
Yes.
All right, probably.
Yeah, I said something last week on it too. God, they're spreading that out a little bit. Usually they only have like 3. They got,
They should get 6 or 7.
yeah.
For each district. And then
Yeah, one of our regulars.
Yeah, is that just open for everybody or?
we ever done this before, I'm assuming, I didn't look at his projects and I'm concerned or not feel about this. Highway system.
Well, might not be short then.
What is that, a state? What did you say that?
KDOT.
KDOT.
Yeah, it's probably not a good time for them to ask you this year.
No.
No.
We were, my daughter volleyball team, and friends went to Nebraska Saturday, and we're trying to tell him, make sure he's going, getting off on I-70.
Yeah.
On 35, I thought over. You'll be late.
Yeah, they tried to send out a bunch of notices to come out. And there was, it wasn't bad, they were concerned with the traffic, but it wasn't too bad. So the people sleeping up to
It
It
was,
was a pretty, I mean, steady stream of cars, but it wasn't bad.
I'm not really understanding how they're doing that. And I'm gonna ask about that because I mean, I had to go all the way down to Sethchild and come all the way around just to get back to Blue Hill Shopping Center. It's like, come on.
We
guys.
noticed on the way.
Well, yeah. I mean, I understand at certain intersections you need to come back a ways, but what they're doing that to me is just ridiculous. Like, come back 3 miles with cones and then put everybody into one lane.
Okay, I think we're ready for the Recovery Month proclamation.
I'm bringing someone with me. Just in case, just in case.
Okay, so I'll read the proclamation. Recovery Month proclamation. Whereas behavioral health is an essential part of health and overall wellness, and prevention works, treatment is effective, and people can do recover from substance use and mental disorders. And whereas it is critical to educate our policymakers, friends and family members, healthcare providers, and businesses that substance use and mental disorders are treatable, and that people should seek assistance for these conditions with the same urgency as they would any other health condition. And whereas almost 21 million Americans have had at least one addiction, Yet only 10% of them receive treatment, and drug overdose deaths have more than tripled since 1990. And whereas the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy, and Pawnee Mental Health Services observed Recovery Month to raise awareness and understanding of recovery from substance abuse and mental disorders. And therefore, Riley County does hereby proclaim September 2023 as Recovery Month in Riley County, and calls upon the citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools to recognize the importance of recovery and to commit our community to increasing awareness and understanding of substance use and mental disorders, and the need for appropriate and accessible services for all people.
Thank you very much. So, yes, I'll just say one thing, and then I do want to introduce Eric Martin. Eric is our new substance use disorder manager. He's been with Pawnee for 8 years, starting out as an intern and working as a therapist in our crisis and in our substance use programs. And I thought it might be good for him just to introduce him and let him give you a very quick update about services we provide. But not only is September Recovery Month, but yesterday was World Suicide Prevention Day. And I looked at some statistics and found that opioids are present in 90% or in 20% of suicides, and alcohol intoxication is present in 22% of suicide deaths. So there is a connection between substance use and suicide. And so it's I think significant that World Suicide Prevention Day and Recovery Month all happen in the month of September. But I would like to introduce you to Eric and would like him maybe just to give you a really brief update on what we're doing at Pawnee Mental Health in the area of substance use treatment. Thank you.
Thanks, Robin. Yeah, so we're with Pawnee, we in specifically our substance use department, we offer group therapy, individual therapy, peer support, and case management, which kind of works with clients on a more day-to-day basis. But in our program, we really are aiming to find light in really dark places with our clients, and we aim to find light through those cracks. And so we believe that where darkness is, that's where light shines the brightest, right? So as an agency, we're super grateful and honored to be a part of someone's recovery journey. And as far as this month goes, it just sort of reminds us that the work is continuous, but also rewarding as we see clients kind of break through these cycles of addiction. So we appreciate your time today, and go Cats.
Yeah.
Commission.
Oh, yeah.
Hi there. We were small proclamation.
We're doing shortest stuff.
I was coming in here with that and hold up the proclamation.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
All right.
How does that work? Trying to not get the fire extinguisher in the picture. Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah.
Of course. Thanks, Robin.
Thank you all.
Of course.
No.
Yes. John Ellerman, Public Works, just announcing the culvert replacement project on Union Road is scheduled to begin Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. Project is located on Union Road, 1/10 of a mile north of Scowl Road. Union Road will be closed to through traffic during construction. Traffic control will be installed at the intersection of Green Randolph Road and Union Road and Wallsburg and Union Road. To divert traffic. Project has been allotted 40 working days and is expected to be completed by November 8th, 2023, weather permitting. We apologize for any inconvenience caused by the projects. If you have any questions about the project, please call the Rhode Island County Department of Public Works. Any questions? Thank you.
Vivian, you wanted,
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Leyva, Public Information Officer. Excuse me. First, I wanted to correct inaccurate information that we recently published in the Manhattan Mercury regarding the Riley County budget. Unfortunately, all of the numbers they published about our budget are incorrect. We did send a public notice with the exact details of the budget that was published in the paper. We also sent a news release with the information, I think at the end of August. It's on our website and published in several other places as well, but just to call attention to make sure that anyone who read the article has access to the accurate information. They quoted the 2024 Riley County budget as $50.86 million. The 2024 budget is actually $92.3 million. The 2023 budget they quoted as $45.75 million, and that was actually $75.6 million. The overall increase, that's kind of a large increase between 75 and 92. That's due in a large part to the ARPA and CARES Act funds that are currently in our accounts and have been allocated for the 2 new EMS facilities as well as rural wastewater projects. So go ahead.
That would also take into account the incurred interest on both of those accounts too, correct? Yeah.
Yes. And I also wanted to point out, they kind of took the difference between the total budget numbers, which were incorrect, but cited that as a tax increase. And since we have lots of different funding sources for the county, the difference in the total budget does not represent what like a cost to taxpayers. So I wanted to call attention to that. They also had the mill levy incorrect for both this year and 2024. There's a chart that was sent as a news release, and they quoted the mill levy for this year is 42.128, down from last year 42.221. Both of those numbers are incorrect. Last year the mill levy was 42.214. This year in 2023, the mill levy is 42.214. 2024's mill levy is 39.956. They also indicated an average tax increase, which was incorrect. They cited a 12.85% increase in county property taxes, which absolutely is not correct.
I figure out where they came up with that.
I don't know where they got any of them, unfortunately. The portion of the budget that is represented as ad valorem taxes, just that increase, even if you add Riley County and Riley County Fire District, that increase is 1.36 million. And Brittany's here, she can help correct if I've done something wrong, but that represents a 4.3% tax increase for both of those entities, both these entities combined. For just Riley County, the tax increase is 1.25 million. That represents a 4.1% increase over 24. And I didn't check the budget numbers for the other taxing entities. They published it as USD 383, the city and the county. I know the city did a first reading of their budget. I know the total they cited is incorrect because our numbers were incorrect, and it's possible that the other two were incorrect as well. So I will publish a written statement calling out the inaccuracies and just continue to do my best to get the right information to people so they can make their decisions. Also, since I'm here, later today, I'll be sharing with the public that the new RSV vaccine is now available at Riley County Health Department. They have doses available now, and they're expecting to get another shipment tomorrow. Those are available or recommended rather for people 60 or over or infants. And it's actually an injection administered to pregnant mothers
to protect infants from RSV. So more information about that coming soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vivian.
Nope. You're picking up the whole time to
Yes.
10:10 or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Okay, I move that the Board of Riley County Commissioners, including Chairwoman Folke, Vice Chairman Ford, and Commissioner McKinley, along with Craig Cox, Deputy County Councilor, Sally Woodard, Deputy County Councilor, and Clancy Holman, County Councilor, attorneys for the commission, along with Amanda Webb, Planning and Development Director, and Brian Foster of BG Consultants, recess into executive session pursuant to the preliminary discussions relating to the acquisition of real property, with exception of the Kansas Open Meetings Act, and the open meeting to resume the commission chamber at 10:10 a.m.
Oh, second.
Put a pause in there.
I don't know why you go on and on like that.
It's been moved and seconded that the Raleigh County Commission is going to executive session until 10:10 a.m.
You can. Do you need to do it?
Is that the right?
Because Rich wasn't.
All in favor?
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I ask for a friendly amendment to that to also include Brittany Phillips as also an attendee, the budget and finance officer?
We'll also add Brittany Phillips, Budget and Finance Director. Second.
So moved and seconded to add Brittany Phillips, Finance Director, to the executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is the consensus to have staff notify these people?
Brittany.
The application gets submitted, those properties have been identified as being
Yeah.
part of the application.
We are back. And
Okay,
Let me see.
I'll go ahead then and move that the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Board of Raleigh County Commissioners come out of the executive session. All in favor?
And move that the record reflect the action shall be taken consistent with the consensus reached in executive session.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that action will be taken. Consideration of the consensus reached in executive session. All in favor?
Thank you, Commissioners. You live all the time.
Past time.
No, it's not. Not really.
It could have gone longer.
I'm pretty good.
We're gonna go longer at some point in time, but maybe it's not this morning.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, John.
All right, good morning, John Ellerman, Public Works. With my monthly project update. You had an update from Keats from.
Yeah, let's move on from that.
We're going on. Not a whole lot of new progress on some of these, but Flat Rock Road. We were low bid. We had pre-construction the other day. Looks like they're stuck here in a couple weeks. And they had 80 working days on that project. As long as that holds out, we should be good. Union Road. Pre-construction and they last week too, and they'll start Wednesday with 40 working days. Let's see.
Give us a little bit of update on where we're at on Marlette since that's come up. Just where we're at. And
I'm sitting with Benish on scope of services and agreement. They kind of waiting on the city to figure out where they want to go with their side.
Okay.
And to figure out what kind of agreement we have with Benish to do. So
okay.
Working with the city on how and when and kind of funding on their end.
Okay, thanks.
Some of the crews work going on is they did some work at One Cat Park, put some gravel around the fire pit. With mowing kind of slowing down with the hot temperatures, grass don't grow quite as much. They're able to work on some other projects. They're starting now. Some landscape bed projects again and other special projects. There's a park board meeting tomorrow at 7. I think it's out in Riley.
Yeah.
Operations crew asphalt shouldering on Anderson and Cricket Creek. Payment patching on Rosencutter and Walnut Creek roads. They replaced the parking lot around by the playground at Seco Park. It was holding water, some large potholes. So we thought the best fix would be to remove it and replace it. So the guy spent a week or so on doing that. And try to get the water to drain off away from the playground instead of into it. Rich crew went out and helped the asphalt with replacing a bench and some sidewalk patch that they had. Because of the project. We did some culvert repairs at by adding riprap or on the side of LKW Road and some other small structures. Gravel crew for grading roads and cleaning ditches. The precast boxes, the one I mentioned earlier in Homestead will start on the 25th. Will be done that week. The The box for Sweet Creek Road has been built and scheduled to project in October, around October 16th. So we had 4 of the road crew members participate in the snow rodeo last Thursday. We had first and second place in the motor grader, the second and third place in the loader, and I think the second or third in the truck competition. And of course, I've got that operator wanting to go to Loveland to participate in nationals. Don't know when I'm going to be able to get that request to you unless I can slip it in business on Thursday. To have him go and get registered to that conference is September 27th through 30th. With competition on the Wednesday, that Wednesday.
And that's out of state, so you have to come in and request it first and then.
That's what my request is, so let me stick it on business.
Okay, gotcha.
Alvin, Evan and I will be at the BEAT conference Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning. And so I'm having troubles finding somebody to come in and present that to you. It's so that's the 27th, 28th, 29th conference. Snow rodeo on Wednesday, I believe. Conference day for training sessions, education sessions on the other 2 days. And if not, I'll come in and I'll try to get in on Monday to get that to you. I am told the second truck is to be delivered here in the next couple of weeks. And once that's delivered to the dealer, they'll start working on putting the third truck together. They have that at their yard. So it's been built by the factory. Now it's at the third party to put in snow plows, salt spreader and some of the other equipment in the box on it. So once number 2 is done, they'll pull that in and start working on it. And we're looking at maybe 2 months out.
Might actually have in time for snow.
I would hope so. I'm hoping so.
Just jinxed us. That means it'll probably get snow next week.
They're already looking forward to parking the other truck.
Yeah, it's going.
Yeah, I bet.
Still working on final design stuff with EMS headquarters, North County. I guess Commissioner knows more probably what's going on out there tonight. The windows and siding and roof complete. The alley's been cleared, probably, hopefully they started pouring in it.
Folks, I was just up there yesterday. They've got part of it behind the building. They got it formed and they got all the gravel base down. They got it formed up behind the building. And they got the cabinets are sitting in the garage. They were delivered.
That's good.
It's first coat of paint on every on the interior.
Oh, on the siding, once I get it.
The siding, this still isn't, it's supposed to come in this week, I think, that horizontal siding.
No, they have with the vertical.
No, the vertical's there.
Okay, the lower.
But the horizontal siding is supposed to come in this week, the last time they updated this.
So thank you for that update.
Okay, I had to go out, I couldn't go out every Sunday. Check it out.
Okay, and University Park Lagoons, as Amanda mentioned earlier, we did get approval for the small town water and sewer infrastructure grant. That grant, I think it's for it's $1.5 million. So that's a pretty big chunk of that project. So we hope to. All we have to do now is finish the rest of the paperwork for the grant, and we're good to go. So we're working on that. Terracon did perform. I was out there Friday with the soil samples. So we'll see where that leads us. Hopefully it's good news. We were hoping to get some word from the landowner next door to maybe get in, slide over there and take a couple samples on his property, but he has a little delay in communication with them, so it's a week or two before he gets back, but he does return. Eventually he gets back to us. Open positions. It's a purchasing agent, administrative assistant two, and two public works operator positions. And you'll see me here in a few minutes after this to ask for those. We have been asking for quotes for mini excavator leases. We trying to change that lease up a little bit, but once we get that determined, how we would recommendation, will be back in front of you with those. Nevin's been working on specifications and prices to get to bid out the loadout scales, the scales under the tipping floor. Had some break the other day, and we're asking them take them to the yard to get weighed out. So a little bit of a change there. We need to get those done pretty as soon as we can. That's on his list to do first. And then Hess and Sons will be in to start scrapping here in the next few weeks. The white goods and the metal. Other than that, I don't have anything else on my list unless you have some questions. Thank you.
Got about 4 minutes, Russell.
Okay.
3 minutes.
Yes, I only printed one and you can see why.
I'm gonna save it, so somebody
Okay,
else can have it.
Yeah, I emailed it to you if anybody wanted to look at this.
Let's see, oh, the question.
Okay,
Or let me rephrase it. I'm in the process of trying to save it.
good.
Okay, there it is. Throwing you off a little bit there.
I looked at the dates and work lining up.
Hey, Brittany, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
On these CIP email you sent, can you just send those to me as a PDF instead of off of Excel?
Yeah.
They don't tend to print very well off Excel.
Okay,
Thank you.
is that the one I sent this morning?
Correct.
Okay.
Well. Yeah, we talked to them before. Sure. Or they do their full.
What is it?
Well, I believe that's what we're setting time for her to bring it in.
Oh, okay.
2 ships.
Which
I've seen it.
yeah. That'd be cool. It doesn't look like the one back at Dylan's
Yeah.
that they took off.
Morning, Commissioners, Russell Suki, Raleigh County Fire District number 1. As you're well aware, we've had a long and arduous process of trying to build some fire stations, and so here's our next attempt at the Ashland Station 102 to go out for bids. For the most part, it's the same bid package as we did before. We just taken stuff out, and we've already done the dirt work. So if you have any questions, otherwise, would recommend to approve the permission to go or to advertise for bids.
What was the time frame to put that bid out? Just
I think
30
it's gotta
days,
be-
40 days, 45 days?
I think if Cindy can correct me if I'm wrong, it's got to be in the paper 3 times over the course of 2 weeks.
Sounds right. Brittany, do you know?
John probably knows better. I want something got to be in the paper 3 times for 2 weeks. 3 times over the course.
20 days.
I'm not worried about how many times it has to be in the paper. I'm just worried about days.
I
Yeah.
roughly tried to do
20
30 days.
How long?
20 days.
Okay.
the rest after.
We're already on the agenda. I can't remember the dates to come back. We have that set because we had to put that in advertisement, obviously. When we'll be back. And I think we allowed over 30 days or more because of getting it in the paper and making sure it's in the paper line ahead of time.
So, probably at the earliest, let's see, October 12th, because we won't be here on the 9th.
Good, so, so.
Yeah. Then we would come back that following Monday. To make our recommendation. Assuming it wasn't obvious that day,
Yeah.
that's our typical. October 12th, so. Questions?
I don't know if somebody else had anything. Okay. With that said, then I'll make a motion to direct Raleigh County Fire District number 1 and staff to advertise for bids for construction of Station 102 in Ashland.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded to direct the RCFG number 1 staff to advertise for bids for construction of the Ashland Fire Station. Number 102. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Commissioners. And then FYI will be, our office will be pretty scarce this week. This week's the Kansas Emergency Management Association conference down in Mulvane, so we'll be heading down there tomorrow. Heading down there most of the week.
That's good.
Do we need to set a representative to that steering committee.
I was gonna talk about it post meeting, there's some thoughts out there. I would think it probably makes sense to probably put Dave Willis, our parks manager, on there. I don't know if they do it, or not, but yeah. And we'll have to come to some sort of consensus of what our expectation is.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it. Well, I were really, that plan, I looked at it again, it take most of the USD 383 property. Everyone's just gonna go back.
No, but
Dave,
it's a whole anyway.
yeah. I think they're supposed to have the first meeting on the 19th, which is
Coming up here.
that meeting in the. I guess that'd be next Tuesday.
I don't know if one of us wants to go or. Or you just give them.
The way I kind of look at it is eventually we're gonna have to make a decision, so maybe it's better,
Action.
yeah, maybe it's better not to have one of us on there and. Has anybody from the city contacted us that you're aware of, Cindy, on that?
Not aware.
Think so. I haven't gotten anything.
I haven't got
One
it
of us-
personally, but I haven't. I asked Rich about that after we talked about it on Thursday, and he wasn't aware of it either, so I thought maybe somebody had already called and just. Mhm. And since this is all facilities, what are your thoughts on that, John?
Like,
Tico Park?
what I've seen under presentation, like. Part of the game,
Mhm.
it seemed, awful free where they're pulling stuff, like they do at the top. I've not had any contact. with somebody.
I didn't figure.
I do. Yeah, that's gonna change up the layout.
Yeah. I did too. I couldn't do that again.
Yes. Okay, we're at 10:40. You didn't have anything else, did you?
No, I do not.
I'll go ahead and move to the county commission, including chairwoman Popke, vice chairman Ford, and Commissioner McKinley recess into executive session on potential litigation for the purpose of consultation with Shelley Woodard, deputy county counselor, and Clancy Holman county counselor, attorneys for the commission, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship, an exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act, with the meeting to resume in the commission chamber at 11 a.m.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn into executive session until 11 a.m. All in favor?
Aye. Right, 11, that makes sense. I move the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session.
Second,
So moved and seconded, the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session. All in favor?
I
Aye.
also move that the record reflect no binding actions taken during the executive session.
second,
So moved and seconded, the board, there's no binding. Read that again.
No binding action was
No
taken.
binding action was taken during the executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Gotta pass those down.
I know, I haven't said it. But
Thank you, Commissioners.
Pass them on.
Yeah, pass, yeah, it's easier to read.
I should have memorized by now.
Usually Rich has it.
Good morning again, Commissioners. John Ellerman, Public Works, and this time I'm asking to refill 2 public work operator positions. We had 1 resignation that you signed this morning and another transferred from the operator to the mechanic 2 position. So the 2 as of right now, the one was in the bridge crew and the other on the gravel crew. We may do some switching around within crews for people, but I still need 2 operators.
What are you down officially in your department? Just 4.
Any changes in the,
No changes in the job description, both budgeted positions, full time.
You said they were on bridge and gravel.
Yes,
Okay. They have plenty to do to keep them
always.
busy. Oh, okay. Just- I guess gravel. Then.
That was you caught me last week and Anderson. And they were graveling the.
They were helping shoulder.
Oh,
shoulder.
yeah.
Had the flag one lane around.
All right. I don't have anything else. Okay. Make a motion to approve the Public Works Department's advertising to hire 2 open Public Works Operator 2 positions.
Second,
so moved and seconded to approve the Public Works Department to advertise for 2 open Public Works Operator 2 positions. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you. Yes, that's all.
Please on business. The agenda for today. We have
I was going to talk about the situation for Parks Steering Committee still. I was going to actually bring it up here at the end of the meeting, but Tim's got to come to agreement on something and get it much moved forward. So not it. 45, yes, not it.
Well, I've looked at their play, we haven't heard back from our task force on the fair board, what we're gonna do about the fairgrounds. I don't know how we can agree to anything until that happens, especially not parking,
Yeah.
paving the parking lot and all the things.
I'm applicable if they want that property of ours to do that, then there has to be a trade-off somewhere.
It's be a sale, I mean,
I don't need to
Something.
think on that. Thought or discussion that's come up is, we're trying to figure out how to get playground equipment over there at a playground that, to me, isn't really a county playground necessarily, but they want that, we need that.
well,
Trade-off.
that's a big piece of property for the,
We're not giving up the property.
just
Just let them,
let them pay it.
if they want to pave it, they can also fix the playground.
Yep.
Well, I don't think that'd pave the grassy part that the fair uses. For the horses,
Yeah,
for the rodeo, that we need the grassy part
yeah,
there.
that's what
They want-
someone said. That where they have the horses are sort of talking about paving. You can't do that.
Yeah, because they were gonna go take most of that and.
Yeah, this year's rodeo fair had a lot of that gravel portion with animals and trailers on.
Yeah, that's true. They use a lot. Ample parking. That lot is in that bad shape. So I don't know if,
We have to figure out something.
We will have to put someone on that committee then.
Yeah,
I mean, they haven't officially, but I thought.
They did kind of unofficially, but they didn't really say who, other than, they prefer it to be staff and not elected.
well, just so we get feedback. What's going on, so they haven't kept us informed at all.
Apparently, I wasn't even aware of it until the intergovernmental meeting. That's, they were planning some stuff, but I didn't,
And then we're gonna hire someone to put all the plans together, and before they even talk to property owners.
I'm not willing to just hand that over. I guess that's my point.
I think also part of this trail
Mhm.
along Avery that is.
Well, I mean, what does a paved parking lot do to the dog park that's over there? I mean, I know it doesn't really affect it outright, but people walk up and around. I mean, I don't know. I just,
I don't know.
there's several other ifs.
To the dog park people, but. I mean. Paved parking lot, the trail around through county properties and who maintains later on.
Mhm.
And see, that's why I think somebody, the public works or parks should be on there to be able to answer those questions that we don't. Maybe aren't aware of, since they maintain it,
Yeah,
or our portion of it anyway.
so what they've got, the tennis courts, they're in terrible disrepair. Why rebuilding? Why just fix them? Now it's like, why spend all that much taxpayer dollars to do that?
Because they have the money.
Oh,
It was folks left. over.
My question is,
I don't
who
know,
plays tennis anymore?
not to me.
I mean,
Oh, that's.
to me, I mean, it would be better used for a pickleball court or something along those lines and do just one.
Yeah, they talked about.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the school doesn't come down there and use the tennis court. Or would.
That was the presentation, was that they could have state tournaments and stuff there.
At the cost, that's
There's a lot of- there's some nice tennis courts over here at City Park. That people use, I think they use, I don't know. They could include trees.
What's the relationship like with the university? I mean, if you wanted to do state tournaments,
Yeah.
their facility would be the best just to do a tournament. We're always fighting each other on stuff that we don't.
Yeah, we really don't know what we want to do with that property yet.
No, I don't
That's
get the indication that's going to be solved soon.
No.
Well, no, but in the meantime, we've got to take care of it and have a place for the horses and cattle and all the, those things. So we can solve it. I don't know. What's that?
Maybe the first step is just getting somebody representing the county in the discussion and see how it progresses. So,
Well, they need to know how we feel before it goes.
well,
Committee.
That's what we were saying, is that something David would do? You know,
You could ask, I haven't asked him that, but I will want to get back.
Okay.
I mean, the only other person that, then if we would. Is, I'm not volunteering this, so, but I have to volunteer myself. Or you can volunteer.
Well, you pretty much know how we feel about it.
Learning it, yes.
Yeah.
I still might prefer Dave just because he's in charge of maintaining and supervising everybody that maintains it. And I think that's going to be a large portion of the discussion at this point in time. No offense. And you've got enough on your plate, so.
Well,
More than that.
yeah, I just, that's paying that just doesn't work.
Damn sure don't work for free. I'll tell you that one for sure. I'm not going to just do it because you want to do it.
You think about how much pay that entire thing is, but I'll take the whole money. Whatever.
My guess probably is, and I'm just thinking ahead on this, they'll probably ask to extend that for that purpose when it comes due. The 2-cent rec sales tax or whatever it is.
Well, that's not specifically the parks. For our life, quality of life or something.
yeah, I said one of the items on the list is see that.
How many taxpayers feel how much they'll approve it.
They did the first time and pretty handily. You gotta believe that would be the case the second time around, but
Well, but this isn't the second one.
no, right.
Still just what's left.
They just had
the
this-
existing one,
Yeah.
because they did the rec centers first, maybe.
And they had to let some funds kind of build up to
Yeah.
to be able to work with it here. And they're projecting, because we asked that question, and they're projecting the rest of that out over the course of time to build it through, so. Okay. That's where we're gonna go with that, I think.
See if David can take.
That's okay with everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll just see how it goes. That's all I have this morning.
Yeah, I can't think, I don't have anything else.
Okay. Okay, well, with that said, I'll make a motion to adjourn the September 11th meeting of the Riley County Commission.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the 9/11/23 meeting of the Raleigh County Commission.